Holden McGowan live from Ankeny's Fantasy Football Network with my correspondent,
Dix Enormous. We're here on Ankeny's Fantasy Football Network, live in-house, interviewing Seth Hansen. And we have a few questions for you. And welcome to the set, Seth. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing fine, Dix Enormous. How are you?
Oh, quite swell, quite swell. I think Mr. McGroin has some questions for you to start us off.
All right, Seth, how does it feel to win a fantasy football championship?
The greatest moment of my life, by far. It's the best thing I've ever done. Ever.
Who would you say that your MVP was for the season?
MVP, definitely Adrian Peterson. He put the team on his back, though, and I think he had 3 consecutive weeks of 30-plus points, so he was by far my MVP.
Is it safe to say that Adrian Peterson is your man crush? Given the chance, would you have an orgy with he, Sam Ponder, Christian Ponder, and it's yourself, of course?
It's a... maybe.
That is a strong trio.
Yeah,
right
maybe,
there.
maybe. I would consider it. There was money involved.
What are your overall thoughts on the season?
I thought it was a good season. I had some trouble in the middle of the season trying to figure out who to start and who to bench, and I had a couple hiccups, but towards the end, finished strong. My team, the
My
Vikings...
eyes are up here.
my team, the Vikings, didn't do so well, but my fantasy team was able to pull it off, and I'm very happy to have this victory and this wonderful trophy here.
Great questions so far, Holden McGroin. I've got another one. Dixie Enormous has another one for you here. If you could date one of your players, which one would it be and why?
If I could date one of my players, I would definitely date Drew Brees, and I would date him because of his above-average intelligence and his boyish good looks.
And yes, some ladies do think he is a very attractive...
Plus, he's got a kid, which is a major
very
point.
attractive individual.
Let's be honest.
All right, Seth.
I'm like a man with a child.
What do you think of the new Pope, and will there be any impacts on fantasy football?
Gotta be honest with you. I don't give a rat's about the Pope, and I never have and I never will. I have no idea why he's important, and he will have next to zero effect on fantasy football, and I wish the media would just stop talking about him, because he's kind of like the royal family, meaningless.
Well, I couldn't agree more with you. Who can you attribute your fantasy football championship to?
Well, I definitely have to give a little bit to my brother, because he helped me draft, because I had to go to sleep, because I had to wake up early the next morning on draft night. He did a pretty solid job.
So you're essentially calling yourself a little girl, then?
Yes, in less words, yes, I am a little girl. And I actually have to thank Brandon Alessio because, well, no, let's thank Seattle's D, because Seattle's D completely helped me out, beat Tim, and let's all be honest, if Tim would have made it to the finals, he would have destroyed anybody. So Brandon is my most valuable person in regards to this fantasy league.
All right, this is a question everybody's been dying to know. Boxers or briefs?
Boxer briefs. Bam.
So in other words, you're saying sometimes depends.
No, Dick. I wear boxer briefs.
Very well.
And depends.
What are your plans for this off season?
I plan to keep working hard, not exercising or knowing much about football, and then just randomly drafting good players, and then just winning again, because that's kind of what happened this time. Let's be honest.
Who are some of the players that you want to draft for next season?
Well, my first overall pick will definitely be AP if I can get a chance at that, because apparently people thought I was stupid for drafting Adrian Peterson, but he ended up being amazing. Percy Harvin, maybe. Even though he left my team, the Vikes, I would consider him. And then for quarterback, I gotta go with Drew Brees again. He was up and down a couple times in the middle of the season, but I definitely think that Drew Brees would be the best quarterback for my team. And then at wide receiver, I'm honestly not sure. Maybe Julio Jones. He was pretty solid.
You know, sometimes you just have those days where you stroke it well and you sink the ball in the hole. How do you feel about Tiger doing the same thing on 22 consecutive holes?
I don't. I don't agree with infidelity, but sometimes a man succumbs to his urges, and I don't condone that behavior. But let's be honest, the guy is a classy golfer, maybe not so much a classy person, and he did stroke a couple too many holes.
So he should have stopped at 20 consecutive holes.
He
22 is just too
He
many.
probably should have stayed with Elin. And
Okay.
not stroked anybody else's holes.
I'm
also uncomfortable with the term stroking of holes because that doesn't really make much sense.
So you're saying just stick with the one then?
Just stick with the one.
Okay. So we got some clarification.
Just keep putting the ball into the same hole.
Okay, and who are some of your role models? Would Tiger Woods be one of those?
I
mean, he strokes lots of holes.
I appreciate his determination and his will to win on the course. Not so much morally. Wouldn't be a role model. You got to go with Abraham Lincoln. That movie came out this past year. Really look up to Abe, Honest Abe. I would like to model my life after him a little bit, but definitely Tiger Woods from the sports aspect. Not so much the life because he kind of ruined it in 2009.
All right, and last we have a couple of quick questions. I'm just going to say something, and you need to just fire out the first the answer that comes to your head. I'm actually going to give you two options. We'll go ginger or brunette.
Brunette.
Ginger or boots.
Boots.
Ginger or chair.
Chair.
Ginger or TV.
TV.
Ginger or ginger, with a slight blonde head.
No comment.
That is all.